Hey everybody, good morning. Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit different than most of my content. I'm going to take a little step back, take a breather, and this is sort of for my lovely, awesome, loyal, wonderful subscribers. So if you're not one of those people, then maybe you should consider it. I recommend it. It's a really cool community. I like my channel. The last 10 weeks has been pretty insane. So I have now made 50 videos in the last 10 weeks, so 2.5 months. This is actually video number 51, I think, during that time frame. And so, first of all, you may have noticed this has been a really huge period of growth, I would say, for the channel. Now, of course, the subscribers have grown tremendously, and I'm super excited. I know that, my channel's still pretty small compared to, almost every other channel. But as far as I'm concerned, 6,500 people hit that subscribe button. That is just insane. Like, 6,500 people. Like, that is just, imagine all of you in a room. I feel so grateful every day. I can't believe it. And I keep thinking, what if today's the day that everybody at the same time gets bored of my content? But seriously, I really do. I love all of you. I'm so excited. Every day I wake up, first thing I do is check my new comments. I read every single one. And I'm struggling lately to respond in a timely fashion, but I read all of them every day. It's crazy. So with all that being said, you may have noticed that it's been a period of growth, not just for the subscribers, but for my content production, the quality of the content, and most importantly, perhaps, being consistent, being reliable, producing high quality content on a release schedule, and never letting you down. I gotta be honest, it's been a thing I've struggled with for many years. I've been making content on this channel for a long time, but this is the first time I've ever managed to just get everything into a really well-oiled machine. And frankly, during this period I've also been having one of the most intense engineering periods of Journaly. I was actually writing a pretty massive tutorial for a programming technology called GraphQL, and that's gone now onto a really popular website for learning GraphQL for free. So several really massive projects that have been happening on the side of YouTube. And so I'm really excited that I've been able to push so much just personal individual growth and into my channel in the form of content and, again, consistent output. So with all that, the cool thing is that it's actually getting better and better. You may have noticed that I have been managing to put content out on my release schedule every day that I promise, but they've been coming out a bit later than usual. This week, you may notice that videos are coming out first thing in the morning, and that's because I'm finally now just fine-tuning everything, getting my schedule intact. I'm getting ahead of my schedule, starting to build a backlog, and it's just getting better and better and better. So the really big thing that I want to update you on in this video is one of the big visions I've had for many years now is really developing a sort of Patreon-like community, right? So I've been doing Patreon for quite a while, but I have to admit, I never talk about it on my channel. I never promote it. And that's because I've been feeling kind of ashamed. I'm so grateful for the people who have been patrons of mine over the years and who have supported me and who continue to support me today. I think I have 5 Patreon supporters at this moment, but I almost feel ashamed because it's I haven't ever really managed to fully develop an offering of value that's unique to those people, and they're so valuable. People that help me sort of on my dream journey towards maybe being able to do all this stuff full-time one day, because that's really my dream, is to be able to do a combination of working on Journaly, making YouTube videos, producing more content, writing more books, right? I wrote 1 book. I have a 2nd book, which I have a draft for. All these different things that I love. I'd love to produce more course content. I have so many ideas, right? So the people who are engaging in something like Patreon and supporting me there, I really believe they deserve an enormous thanks and an enormous amount of value. And so basically, I'm finally at a place where I think I can completely revamp my Patreon offering. That's my big, exciting update today. Nothing gonna change on the channel, just because I'm now gonna be really trying to ramp up this amazing sort of value pack that I can give to people who choose to support me, even if it's $1 per month. I'm gonna do a pretty flat structure, I think. I may create some extra tiers, but I don't want you to think that I'm creating higher tiers to try to entice people to give me more. All I would ask is that if you do have if you like my content and you really enjoy me as a person and you want to support me on my personal sort of journey of growth as a creator, then I would love for you to, of course, support me. But I would never want anyone to give more than they can. As far as I'm concerned, $1 is a very valuable contribution, and that's the great thing about platforms like YouTube, is that over time you can build an audience large enough that $1 can really go a long way if you have like 1,000 people all giving $1, for example. But the only reason why I may create some higher tiers, it's more because in the past when I did Patreon, I was really surprised that a lot of people actually gave like $12 or $13, even $15. I feel like those people deserve something. So, you know, I have a bunch of like copies of my book. Maybe I could give away copies of the book signed. I don't really know. What I really want to do in this video is get your opinions, right? So I have a few ideas of things I could offer. One is that I could give people on Patreon access to my content 1 week early. So as I'm getting a backlog together, I'm going to be uploading videos at least 1 week ahead of time. So I could give Patreon supporters access to watch my videos a whole week early. That means they could also leave comments and engage if they want to, and I'm going to be able to respond to those comments very quickly because there'll be a lot less of them relative to when the video goes public. I also thought about doing like maybe a monthly AMA video just for Patreon supporters where, you know, we could do like a live stream, or I could just take questions throughout the month. You can ask me anything you want and I'll make a video at the end of the month, which is just for Patreon supporters, and I'll, you know, answer any questions you want. Could be anything to do with language learning, or if you're just curious about my personal life, my other professional activities, anything you want. I also thought about maybe writing a sort of weekly diary that's kind of like just a reflection on my language learning that week, because I do a lot of things, right? I'm doing Chinese and German right now, but I've actually also been learning some Cantonese. It's been really fun. I'm doing it very casually. It's really just for fun, and I'm really enjoying like comparing Mandarin and Cantonese. But you know, so I'm always going through things, and you know, if you're interested in that, I could totally write like a little weekly diary sort of thing that I email out, or that just goes to Patreon supporters. Those are just like 3 ideas, but what I really want is I want to know, what would you like? So if any of you would consider being a part of my Patreon community, what would you like? Because I want to just like throw value. I want you to sign up and then duck because there's so much value coming to, right? Like if anybody chooses to support me on Patreon, I don't want a single person to not feel like delighted. You know, like so glad to be a part of that. That's basically it. I hope this wasn't too rambly. What I'm really trying to say is I'm just so excited that the channel is growing so much. Again, not just in terms of subscribers, but in terms of the quality of the content, the consistency of that content, and the sort of things I'm able to do, and more ways that I really believe I can give lots of value back to all of you. Because again, like I said, my ultimate dream, it's still the same as it was when I started doing this years and years ago. Of course, now there are more things involved, like Journaly, and I think Journaly has the potential to be an amazing business and to be something that can hopefully support me with income one day. You know, Journaly is going to be mostly free. All of the core educational features will be free for everybody, because I don't want financial situations to prevent somebody from being able to learn and connect with other people. But you know, I have spent literally thousands of hours working on Journaly unpaid. I've invested about $7,000 in creating Journaly up to this point, and it's not going to be free to run either. So I will provide a subscription tier for people who want to support, and we will give you some really cool features, but those features will mostly sort of enhance the experience. There'll be a bunch of really fun stuff. I think anybody that like loves Journaly and has the financial capacity, I'm sure you may find it interesting. But the point is, Nobody's gonna be prevented from benefiting from Journaly just because they don't have the financial means to pay. So all that to say, yes, Journaly, YouTube, book sales in the future, maybe building other kinds of products, but all kinds of free content, interviews, documentaries, that's what I would really one day love to be able to do full time. Right now, I pretty much haven't had a life, my entire adult life. I mean, I'm not kidding. I've basically hardly done anything to quote unquote enjoy my life as an adult for the last 10 years. I pretty much just study and work on projects all the time. And yeah, one day I would love for that to change. And I believe it's coming. And so like I said, if any of you are able and willing to join my Patreon support community, whether it's $1 or whatever you think is, suitable, then of course I'll be super grateful. But I do want to say, don't worry. Anyone who's a subscriber who likes my content and who does not either want to or just isn't able to support me on Patreon, I still love you all the same. I'm still going to be here 3 times a week, maybe even more, and I'm going to be giving you my best effort regardless. All right, have a great Wednesday. See you back here Friday, where I'm going to be showing a preview of Journaly. That's right, your very, very first preview. You're gonna see exactly what you're getting into once this goes into beta pretty soon. Bye.